Bloomberg Audio Studios.
Podcasts, radio, news.
This is Bloomberg Businessweek with Carol Massar and Tim Stenovec on Bloomberg Radio.
Okay, Carol, check this out. According to Nielsen, Black audiences spend more time with media than any other group in the U.S.
Yeah,
it's really interesting. We want to go deeper on the audience, the opportunity, and also the lack of diversity when it comes to the C-suite. We've got with us Michelle L. Rice. She's president of TV One and CLEO TV. TV One programming focuses on Black adults and consists of, in the network's own words, quote, a broad mixture of original lifestyle and entertainment-oriented series, documentaries, films, music performances, and reruns of sitcoms from the 1970s through the 2000s. Michelle joins us from Silver Spring, Maryland. Michelle, good to have you with us this afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. We do appreciate it. Hey, first, I just want to talk about the business, because you've been doing this for a bit of time here, and the TV industry, you don't have to tell us, I mean, we're in it, has changed so much over that period of time. I mean, how are you thinking about the landscape right now?
You know, it's still very robust. As you said, I've been doing it a long time, and certainly there's just so much fragmentation in media. We're going through a significant period of disruption, with between linear cable TV services and all the streaming services and digital. There's just so many places for consumers to get content. But we still are very bullish on the business. We still think it's a robust business to be in. Great margins, great cash flow. For us, it's a dual revenue stream between our affiliate fees and ad fees. And cable ad fees it's like the $20 billion marketplace. So we're still happy to be in this business, albeit it is a difficult business, as you already stated.
Let's go there, Michelle, because I'm listening to you and I'm like, wait, this sounds like a cable conversation I would have had 10 years ago or 20 years ago. But it's interesting, especially with the growth of streaming. And we are talking about how streaming is becoming like the old cable with bundling, if you will.
Right.
But that how kind of the old cable networks just don't make sense, and certainly old linear doesn't make sense. You say robust, dual revenue. Talk to us a little bit more about the business and how people watch you and dig a little bit deeper into how you guys are making money. Because is it all ad-based or no? It's not. It's subscriber fees.
So for cable TV networks, it's a dual revenue stream. So we do get affiliate fees from our affiliates, Comcast, AT&T, Verizon, all of those are affiliates. So we get license fees from agreements with them, as well as ad revenue. So, fortunately, it is a dual revenue stream business. So, it's still good cash flow. Obviously, with all the fragmentation and churn of subscribers leaving the business with cutting cords. As I said earlier, it's being disruptive, but we are still bullish on content. It's still a good business for us.
But wait,
we're a diversified media company as well. I think that's also key, that we're not just in the cable TV business. We have digital assets. We have syndicated radio. So that helps. And our CEO, Alfred Liggins, who's the CEO of Urban One, our parent company, continues to look for opportunities to diversify. Where's
the most growth? Excuse me. And I guess I want to go back to advertising, because we keep hearing from so many different sources that the ad market in media is not necessarily that strong. Would you disagree, at least for your world?
Well, as they say, flat is the new up. I'm not saying it's growing exponentially.
Yeah.
But, we are still, we have a very strong audience target segment, African-American adults. African-Americans have a $1.8 trillion buying power. So, there's still products and services that people want to target to this audience. And it's an efficient buy. I think it's still a good business.
So how are you building the relationship, or thinking about building the relationship directly to that audience, rather than always relying on the cable company to deliver that message? We got news last week that Three companies are teaming up to sort of create the Hulu of sports. And I asked our Bloomberg Intelligence analyst, Geeta Ranganathan, about that. And she said that could, because it's sports, it could be the beginning of the end of the cable bundle. So if we do look beyond the cable bundle, how have you built that relationship with these people without going through the cable companies?
I mean, to each his own. We obviously are looking at ways to do content direct to our consumer group. Do we think that we're going to do the BET type plus model? We don't know yet. It's a significant investment to invest into an OTT business. I mean, we would have to continue to feed the beast with content. Content is not cheap anymore, and you can't lock consumers into a subscription service. I know as a consumer, I see something that I want to watch on a platform. I may buy it 1 month, 3 months later, I'm going to cancel it. I think it's a business that we're continuing to take a look at how we continue to grow. So I don't have an answer for that right now, other than it's something that we are looking into. But for us right now, we're not interested in putting our money into an OTT business that would really cause us to make a significant investment in content. We're going to continue to just invest in the platform that we currently have.
That's really interesting to hear. Where it's like, because everybody else is doing that, OTT platform, right? So that's really interesting to hear from you.
Yeah. I mean, and I think you will probably also say everybody else hasn't really found a way to make it profitable.
Yeah.
So again, it's not something that we're willing to, burn cash on at this point. Not only that, we're in these relationships with our affiliates, and we're also waiting to see what happens there. You see people launching Plus and Max services, and they are, quite frankly, some of them are cannibalizing the cable TV ecosystem by doing so. If you're premiering first on your Plus service and then, repurposing content on your linear platform, that may be the demise of, or a faster demise of your other channel. And frankly, I'm sure it's causing quite a contentious relationship with the affiliates. So there's a lot to work out there.
Well, and it's interesting, Michelle, like, what have you guys learned about your audience? I mean, I think about the importance of having, network and various media properties, if you will, in terms of really targeting an audience, right? That probably feels underrepresented in kind of traditional media outlets. And so there's got to be a lot of value in that, one would assume.
Yeah, I mean, the Black consumer is, and we've said that's one of the reasons that Urban One went into this business at the time that they did. We're celebrating 20 years, by the way, just 20 years. TV One is 20 years old, and CLEO TV 5 years old. So 20 years ago, when our CEO set out to launch this network, there was only one that was targeting African-American adults. And so we launched TV One as an opportunity because, Black people are not monolithic. We see the buying power of this audience. And also, they are the largest consumers of digital products and services. And they're not leaving the cable ecosystem as fast as others are. And so I think that they will stick around. And they watch advertising. One of the things that when we launched our network, we saw that we had a very long length of tune with our consumers as well. So they watch through the ads. They're very loyal consumers. And so it is a highly coveted consumer, and we're an efficient buy to get to them across all of our platforms. So it's not just cable. We have a one solution platform with digital, with our cable TV networks, our radio networks. So we're a very efficient buy. And also we speak to almost 80% of Black America every single day across all those different platforms.
Totally get it. Like if somebody, if an advertiser or somebody they know truly what the audience is. Before you go, we have about a minute or so left. What's it been like for you acquiring a very senior position in a world where women generally are so still underrepresented? And if you're a minority, I'm sure it's just even a tougher nut to get there. What's that been like for you?
You know, it's been a great journey. I wouldn't trade anything for my journey, and I think working at a company that was founded, by my parent company, Urban One, by a woman, Kathy Hughes, who founded Radio One. Urban One was formerly Radio One over 42 years ago. Has been, invaluable. She's been a great mentor, a great advocate and sponsor to many women. And most women in business, as you know, don't get sponsors. And having a woman who launched this company,
Right.
you certainly can't say that women can't lead.
No, and it's so important when you talk.
Not only did she lead, she founded the company. And so the opportunities at our company have been amazing for women. There are lots of women in senior management.
Michelle, come back soon. We would love to continue this. Michelle Rice, president of TV1 and CLEO TV, joining us from Maryland.
Carol, one of my friends who's a doctor, he uses a platform called Doximity for a few things. I reached out to him today ahead of this interview to ask him how he uses it. He says, I use it to make phone calls to patients from his smartphone. So it looks like he's calling from his office, no matter where he is. It also helps him with mobile fax stuff. Believe it or not, doctors still do a ton with faxing, which is a conversation for a completely different day.
It is.
And I thought the blockchain was supposed to fix that. All I'm saying is, hey, blockchain, if you're out there, hurry up. Also allows him to do HIPAA-compliant video calls with patients. Should note, the company also does have a social network for doctors, which it says has a larger membership than the American Medical Association.
It's pretty amazing. The company did report earnings last week. Revenue, adjusted EBITDA, and adjusted EPS for the most recent quarter came in above estimates. Revenue, however, for the current quarter came in below estimates. Still, 6 analysts since then have raised price targets by an average of 6.9% on the company stock. So delighted to have back with us Anna Bryson, CFO of Doximity, on Zoom from San Francisco. The stock, by the way, up about 7.5% year to date. Anna, great to have you back with us. Talk to us about your world and how you describe it, how you see it in terms of business activity and stuff just going on and the use of your platform.
Yeah, well, thank you both very much for having me. I'm excited to be back. And as Tim mentioned, at Doximity, we're focused on bringing tech to medicine. So we're serving the physician community via a variety of tools, such as you said, scheduling, telehealth. We actually are empowering a lot of our physicians with AI lately with our own version of Doximity GPT. And that's leading to record engagement levels across our entire platform. So this last quarter that we just reported, we had record user engagement. We also saw really strong financials with revenue growth up 17% year over year and a record adjusted EBITDA margin of 54%.
So what is Doximity GPT? What does it provide to doctors who use the platform?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm most excited by, and I know the team's really excited to work on. So I think one of the most practical use cases of generative AI, especially in healthcare, is reducing the administrative burden. I think one of the most staggering stats I heard recently was that for every hour of direct patient care, a physician then has to spend 2 additional hours on paperwork, which it absolutely blew my mind. And so we recently launched a HIPAA compliant, what we're calling an AI co-pilot that helps medical professionals streamline these time-consuming administrative tasks. And one of the most popular use cases so far is for reimbursement support. So helping doctors draft and fax insurance appeal letters. And it's just the beginning for us. I think we're really excited by what more we can do over time, injecting AI into medicine.
How are you training the AI? This has been a big topic lately, especially when it comes to lawsuits that media companies have filed in recent months as a result of the way that these models are being trained. How are you training Doximity GPT?
It's very important to us. As a HIPAA compliant company focused on serving the medical community, we have always been very, very focused on privacy and security. So all of Doximity GPT data is encrypted, both in transit and at rest, and we're doing a lot of it ourselves internally. We also have BAAs in place with OpenAI and with all of our health system partners that have active GPT license agreements. So we take the privacy and the security very, very seriously.
So I just want to understand what exactly this is and make sure our viewers and listeners understand. So is this licensed technology from OpenAI, or are you actually training your own GPT?
Both. So it's built on top of OpenAI, and then we're training it ourselves.
Okay.
What would you say is the number one thing that your platform does for doctors?
I think that, well, it's hard to answer that question because there are so many things that the platform does for doctors. Our focus really is to make their lives more efficient, to provide better care for their patients. So I think at the end of the day, if I had to boil it down to one thing we do for physicians, it's save physicians time. They're one of the busiest members of society, and they are constantly overwhelmed with workload, not only seeing patients, but also, like I mentioned, the administrative burden. And on top of all of that, there's tens of thousands of new medical articles published each week. So they have to stay up to date constantly with changing medical information. And so we also have a newsfeed of medicine where we are helping physicians stay up to date with the most relevant medical information.
Maybe bad question on my part, right? Because you're right, doctors are using it in different ways. But is there a function, whether it's scheduling or something, that they use the most on the platform?
Most recently, it's been our workflow tools. So we have definitely evolved to more of a deskless workforce, right, for physicians. And so they are using our telehealth platform. They're also using our Doximity. So one of the stats that we mentioned this past quarter is we had over 560,000 unique active providers utilizing our workflow software.
Which means what for those of us who are in a doctor's office? Like, are we seeing them use it when they're in the office?
Sure.
Like, help me understand. But doctors are constantly on the computer, or they're with another doctor and so on and so forth, and everything we say, and they're analyzing it. Are they on your platform?
You might have been on the other end of a telehealth visit. So we are conducting many telehealth visits. A lot of the work that they do is mobile too. So you might see them entering in notes in GPT. They used it for on-call scheduling for themselves. So it's not patient scheduling directly, but the main place where a patient would see the usage would be on the telehealth platform. So I'm sure many people have actually engaged in a Doximity telehealth call, whether you know it or not.
Hey, Anna, you're CFO of the company. You're responsible for the company's finances. A big part of that is planning for the next few quarters and also for the next few years. When you look out across the landscape right now, are you hiring? Are you pulling back? Are you spending more? Give us an idea of how you're thinking about the economy and how you're spending money right now.
Sure. So we're lucky in that healthcare is relatively insulated from some of the broader macro pressures. And as we think about investing in the business, one of the things we're really excited by is utilizing AI not only for our physicians and for our products, but also internally to really help our team practice at the top of their license in the same way we help physicians practice at the top of their license. So as we think ahead, we are focusing on using AI to help our employees be more productive so that they can then focus on more complex tasks.
One thing I'm going to say, one analyst says that you guys are throwing off cash faster than an ATM machine. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do with that money? You've done stock buybacks and so on and so forth. Do you think about more buybacks? Do you think about dividends? What do you do with it? And just got about 30 seconds.
Sure, we still have a buyback that is running right now. I think the best answer I can give is we're going to continue investing in our business so that we can continue providing physicians with the tools that they need to provide better care for their patients.
I lied. One last question, 15 seconds. Are you guys seeing a lot of questions when it comes to the new weight loss drugs on the platform? Real quickly.
Sure, it's a topic, but our platform is mostly medical information that we're dispersing. So it isn't as much conversation.
All right, good to know. Anna Bryson, thanks so much. Covered a lot of ground there. CFO of Doximity, joining us on Zoom from San Francisco. You're listening and watching Bloomberg Radio. That stock, by the way, 6.5% higher today.